Had a great reaction to the first video, my best 11, 1980 to 2025. We looked at the keepers. Definitely coming out Jimmy Walker with very close second, Clayton Ince, I think. But we're here to look at defenders. Do you know, going through this, there is so many players, wasn't there? So many players. But in the act of brevity, I've sort of tightened it down. So first of all, we look at 1980s. Andy Dornan is in there as a right back. Brian Caswell. I've been looking through a website, worldfootball.net, and it doesn't mention Brian Caswell. 400 appearances for Walsall. And I think everybody remembers the chest down to Ron Green when we were playing Liverpool. Memorable moments, and a real good point for him. Chris Marsh, of course, came on the scene at the end of the 80s. He was all over the place, so trying to pick a position for him was tough, but he's in there. Kenny Mower, left back, pretty much the 80s, and Kenny Mower was, I think there's only one player that can be there. As far as centre-backs, a bit more competition there. I've highlighted Peter Hart, a mainstay for a long period. Lee Sinnott, of course, went on to Watford. Phil Hawker, Colin Brazier, and Graham Forbes. Graham Forbes, whatever happened to Graham Forbes? Played over 170 games for Walsall. Then, when that was all over, headed back to Scotland, appearing for Dundee and Montrose. But when he was with us, he was immense, wasn't he? So definitely players from the 80s. My four, I'm going to go with Brian Caswell, Kenny Mower, Peter Hart, and Graham Forbes. Right then, on to the 90s. Well, Chris Marsh ran the 90s pretty much. So he's definitely in there. Wayne Williams, Stuart Ryder, Wayne Evans. Just for one season, but one very special season, Jeff Perron. After leaving Walsall, went to Portsmouth, had a season and a bit there, I think, and then headed to Wigan before heading back to France, FC Bayer. They've got a tapestry there, I'm sure they have. Right then, left backs. Neil Poynton, remember him? Colin Gibson. Chris Marsh, he was left back as well, wasn't he? Everywhere. Derek Statham. Excellent stuff there. Centre backs, Dean Smith, Colin Methven, Stuart Watkins. Ian Roper is a bit of a standout there. But then we've got to, can't forget, Adrian Voivash and Derek Mountfield as well. So who we're picking out of those four, I'm going for Chris Marsh. I think Neil Poynton. There'll be some disagreement with the fans, I'm sure. Ian Roper, gotta be. And Adi Voivash, I think. Right then, the 2000s. Chrissy Marsh is still there. Couldn't get rid of him, could we? Ian Brightwell, Matt Gadsby. Didn't play a wealth of games for us. Sadly, passed away at 27. So that was sad stuff. On the left side, Gino Padula, Zigor Aronaldi, big favourite of mine. Julian Bennett, Danny Fox, and Steve Staunton. Well, I think right backs there, I'm going to go for Ian Brightwell. Left back, I could go easily for, I could go for any of them. Zigor Aronaldi, superb. But Danny Fox as well. But Steve Staunton, there was none better than Steve Staunton. But maybe Zigor Aronaldi played more. I don't know, that's a tough one. Centre-backs in the 2000s. Tom Bennett, Tony Barras, Ian Roper's back again. Anthony Gerrard, Manny Smith, remember him? Neil Emblem, Paul Ritchie. We remember what happened with that one, don't we? In 2015, when he didn't get his game at Wembley. Scott Dann, Chris Westwood, and Clayton McDonald. I can only just remember Clayton McDonald. I'm sure you guys will probably remember him better than me. So we're going for there. I'm sort of decided as I'm talking here. Ian Brightwell. Zigo Aronaldi gets the nod. And then we've got to go Scott Dann. And Anthony Gerrard. Yeah. We've got that. Right then, next one. 2010s. Well. Darryl Westlake, Mal Benning, Ben Purkis, Jason Demetriou, Joe Edwards, Nicky Devlin, Cameron Norman, Zach Jules. Now, I know Stephen would pick. He absolutely loves Zach Jules. Left backs, Richard Tawndry, Matt Sadler, don't know what happened to him, James Chambers, Andy Taylor, Rico Henry, he's certainly gone on to good stuff, Luke Leahy, one of them, centre backs, Andy Butler, can't forget him, can we? Clayton McDonald again, Ollie Lancashire, Paul Downing, John Guthrie. Don't think he was fully appreciated at Walsall. Went on to do really good stuff with Northampton, of course. James Clark taught everybody how to fall over. Dean Holden, James O'Connor, Matt Preston. Never really got enough games, really, I don't think. And Dan Scarr. So who am I picking to go forward out of those? It's going to have to be right back, Nicky Devlin. Liked him. Left back, it's a close one this between Andy Taylor and Rico Henry. I'm going to go against the grain, Andy Taylor. Liked him. And then in the middle, got to be Andy Butler and Dan Scarr. Right then. Now, 2020s is next. Cameron Norman, Hayden White, Connor Barrett. Right then, have a think about that one. On the left, Max Melbourne, Tyler Allen, Liam Gordon. Well, we know who we're going to pick there, don't we? In the middle, James Clark, Donovan Daniels, Dan Scarr again, Manny Month, Harry Williams. So, I'm going to go Connor Barrett, Tyler Allen, Donovan Daniels, Manny Month. Manny Month, Donovan Daniels linking up at Oldham. Going to be playing them next season. So see how the way that goes. Oh, just reviewing, we've got Brian Caswell, Kenny Mower, Peter Hart, Graham Forbes, Chris Marsh, Neil Poynton, Ian Roper, Adi Vivash, Ian Brightwell, Zigo Aronaldi, Anthony Gerrard and Scott Dann. I still want to put Steve Staunton in there. And then Nicky Devlin, Andy Taylor, Andy Butler, Dan Scarr. And then Connor Barrett, Tyler Allen, Donovan Daniels, Manny Month. Right then, let me know in the comments, what is your pick from those? Which four? And I'll be back later in the week with some responses and the jam-packed midfield. It gets harder the higher up the pitch you go. Walksman TV, thanks for watching. Cheers.